SportsBit 2.0 betting insight today. Pauly and Teddy. I'm at Real SportsBit. He's at Teddy_Covers. Follow us on Twitter. We'll always send out the links to the shows by 11 o'clock, 11:30 Pacific. And thanks to Intertop Sportsbook, 22 years online. Sign up, deposit, and win. AFC North, the Bengals. Win total 6.5 or 7. 9-7 ATS last year. 8-6-2 to the under. 7-9 straight up. Got the big win as they ruined the Ravens season, scoring on the last play there. I think it was 4th down and forever to allow the Bills to get in the playoffs. I don't understand it. He must have pictures of somebody. Marvin Lewis is back, even though he's 0-7 all-time in the playoffs, and they bring him back. There's a lot of things to be concerned about. Number one is, other than if they shut down Green, who am I throwing to? Who takes the pressure off Green, and who can be that number 2? As it was an unmitigated disaster. That first-round pick, top 10 pick, Ross, never got on the field.
Sure, but that doesn't mean that John Ross isn't going to get on the field this year. I suspect that he will. Let's start with Marvin Lewis. His quote, "You have a lot of change, new field, new ideas, new offense, new defense, new people." All of that is true. The fact that Marvin Lewis is back with Andy Dalton once again for a duo that has, failed repeatedly in the postseason, but been a decent, better than average regular season team. Not so much last year. Last year was bad. And I thought that Marvin Lewis really coached this team up when things were lousy last year, when everyone got hurt and the season was an unmitigated disaster. I thought the players bought into what Lewis was selling. I thought they competed all year long. And I thought, based on that metric, he deserved to come back. Based on the playoff wins metric, not so much. Of course, when you look at Cincinnati, the biggest issue from last year, they didn't take the ball away. The defense, which had been particularly strong in recent years, only 14 takeaways, ranked 31st in the NFL in that category. 23 giveaways, that's about the league average. -9 margin in turnovers, number 27 in the NFL. So that certainly wasn't good. But when it came to personnel moves in the offseason, they didn't do a ton. They had a big blockbuster deal on draft day to bring in Cordy Glenn from Buffalo, looking to shore up the offensive line. But when you look at the basic makeup of this roster at the end of last year and the basic makeup of this roster coming into this year, fairly comparable.
McCarron leaves. Barkley's now the backup. I don't like that. You have a nice 1-2 punch with Croft and Eifert at a tight end. The problem is Eifert's good, but he's never healthy. Seems like the guy's questionable for every single game. So that's going to be a problem there. His big issue is the health. And remember last year, they whacked offensive coordinators, changed coordinators right away.
Yeah, Bill Lazor is now the official coordinator for Cincy. Took over Laser, my apologies. Took over a couple of weeks into the season last year when Ken Zampese got fired. And, the offensive line stunk all year last year. Now, Laser has an opportunity to install his offense properly. Quote, "We might need to change some things. Even though something got us to 5 straight playoffs, it was preventing us from getting further. Maybe there's something that can get us a little further. Sometimes it's uncomfortable to let go what's gotten you so far because it's pretty good, but we've got to make sure pretty good isn't enough." The goal for Cincy, run first this season. It's supposed to be an offense that wants to pound the football on the ground behind that revamped offensive line, and that, in theory, should open things up for A.J. Green on the one side and John Ross on the other. If Ross is healthy and can play, there's a reason he was a number 1 draft pick. The guy has speed and talent and could be a legitimate complement to A.J. Green on the other side, especially if the running game is effective.
You got Mixon, you have Bernard, and they took Walton from Miami in the 4th round, too. He was a good running back at college. That's not a bad pick as well. And maybe these guys could help out in the passing game as well with some dink and dunk. What do you have anything else you have on the schedule, or if you want to talk defense?
Sure. Terrell Austin takes over for Paul Gunther on the defensive side, in terms of coordinator-wise. And, this team's got a good-looking set of cornerbacks. They have William Jackson, who was like last year's breakout star, Drake Patrick, Darqueze Dennard, Marvin Lewis. Quote, "We have some corners that have a lot of talent and ability. We have to do a better job of utilizing their abilities because, of course, last year they weren't creating the takeaways. At safeties where they have issues in the secondary, and that's where they went in the draft. I like their top picks, no question. Billy Price, the center out of Ohio State at number 1. Another revamping the offensive line situation for an offensive line that was bad last year. And then Jesse Bates out of Wake Forest, the safety, with the 2nd-round pick to go along with Sam Hubbard, the 3rd-round pick on Malik Jackson out of Texas, Sam Hubbard out of Ohio State to shore up that defense. Schedule-wise, I mean, it's not easy. They play 3 of their first 4 on the road. They're all tough. Then they get Pittsburgh, and then at KC, the back end of the campaign, not easy at all. 3 of their last 4 on the highway. AFC North plays the NFC South and the AFC West. Not a lot of easy wins in those 2 divisions. And the 2 extra games at Indy and Miami, 2 teams that are both supposed to be better this year than they were last year. There's some things I like about Cincy. They really are. I think from a betting standpoint, they're somewhat undervalued coming into 2018. But from a season win perspective, you can find 6.5s, over 6.5s with juice, or under 7s with juice, both widely available right now. You can call it 6.75. I'm not in a rush to bet the Bengals over the total, even though I think they're going to cash some tickets against the spread.
All right. Very good. Tomorrow, the Browns, and it's starting already. Wise guys don't bet the Browns. So we'll talk about their team preview tomorrow. They're lined at 5.5. 1 win the last 2 years.
Like the show? Help us keep the lights on. Please make sure to comment, share, and subscribe to all the Sportsbook Review videos. Thanks so much. Best of luck. Enjoy the games.